entire beef?
I thought it was good, man.
Right.
Like, look, I've engaged and always involved myself in those situations, big, and I think it always made bigger excitement in our culture. Like that type of thing would make a person buy the record twice.
Right.
It would make like.
So you know how to use it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that. Even me and Kanye, like we'd have issues, but we were standing there like we was in a fight pose.
Yeah.
For the picture, you know what I mean? Like,
and that was the week, the first sales week.
Yeah.
And both of y'all sold.
Yes. And then you're gonna look, at the end of the day, Vic, you're going, I could have went on tour with him if I wanted to combat that win.
Right.
Because I had so many records that were hit records at that point that I would have smashed. He only had that album.
Right. What do you think this is with Drake and Kendrick?
No, I think it's a point where you win repeatedly to the audience, and even the artist community is going, if you win again, how am I have my chance to win? So they would rather see Kendrick in that slot,
right?
And Drake, you get out of here.
Damn,
that's really the way it goes. But like you look, what he's saying, the system's done. They done it. They're guilty of what he said they did. Like where I'm at Interscope, they are G Unit and G Unit at the same time.
Right, gotcha. Wow.
On the same system, big. The same person delivering the record telling you to play 50 Cent is delivering the record saying play game.
Wow.
And it's just business. They're looking at it like it's business. It's selling the record. But everything that they said that he did, that they did for Kendrick is something they did for him.
What did you say to Drake, if you don't mind my asking? Because you guys were somewhere, and it looked like y'all were having a conversation.
Yeah. I said, they said you lost to Pusha T.
Hey.
So what did you lose? And he said nothing. I said, so I don't understand.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like whenever you say you lost something, he said, what exactly did you lose? If you take a step back, there's nothing lost. There's nobody who's a Drake fan that won't go out to see his show right now.
Man, we say that all the time.
Yeah, so it's just to be active. You get out there, do your thing.
How do you feel about beef in general?
I like it.
Yeah, I know.
We can tell.
No, I grew up under circumstances where it is not optional. It's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going, look, battling has always been a part of hip hop culture. If you're not competing, look, that is we hit a spot where business is so present that he looked at it and said, well, that's defamation of character because it's not true. It's a false statement. Right? And I'm like, you know how many false statements were in battle records?
Yeah. What did you feel about the lawsuit when you heard the lawsuit being announced?
I thought it was to combat the
Super Bowl.
Yeah, because that would reignite it, big, or make it. The song would make it exciting, make it go up again.
And months down the line too.
Yeah, but the suit itself, I don't think you think about it, but when the lawsuit comes out, it ignites the record. It goes up.
Right.
I didn't realize that his album was coming.
Right.
Kendrick's album was coming right when that lawsuit fell, and it was like,
yeah, there we go.
It spiked up anyway. So
is it different when we look at hip hop?
Rapal World Nade Kamo. Waladon burst as news don Scattersay, Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs fit day inside Big Beach. Gist of dem Waladon hit street like fire. Talk say e fit involved dem freedom SEF. People day wonder what and be true as motto of loyalty and betrayal day ground.
Competitive if there's a lawsuit there? From a beef though, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
like,
I think it's
because you beef with Fat Joe, Ja Rule, Buster. Have you ever got a lawsuit?
No.
Okay.
Nah, you always get other stuff like behind the scenes stuff. You know what I mean? Like, but they're not public lawsuits and things like that. Like they said, for me, mine was so street orientated that you're a rat.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And weird. That's defamation right there. But then the judge that you would be in front of would look and say, so you're like those criminals that I put away. Because you feel offended by someone calling you a rat. A traditional person, they're not in that lifestyle. Rat means yes.
Right.
911, their defense till you hit them over there, you hit them. Come get this nigga. Hello? Come get him. Yeah. Hit me, yeah. Don't act like you didn't do it.
Right.
Like that is no ratting for them. They're like, what? You better behave yourself.
Can you understand from a business part and the bigger scheme what this lawsuit is from Drake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's because it does feel like when you're in negotiations, it'll feel like the value went down. Like not as hot as you was last week when everybody was excited. And same thing, it feels different. Like, you know, like they're saying you lost. Like you get a phone call, even you like, yo, you guys created the largest sales week in hip hop. And I'm like, yeah, but I lost.
Right.
Get off my phone.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I get this call from Steve Berman, they run Interscope down. But they like at that point.
And this is when you and Kanye were going?
Yeah.
You
gotta get the call. You go, wait, what did you man, get the fuck off my phone.
Because when you look at it with the sales with you and Kanye, like y'all went on this whole who's gonna sell, and that first week, Kanye did sell more.
Yeah.
But looking at the numbers, y'all won.
Yeah. No,
but you were like, nah.
Big. Look. From a consistent sales history, I have the sales history. Interscope didn't do everything Def Jam done for Kanye's number to come back like that. They assumed because they didn't do everything to protect Drake. Because they assume Kendrick and this will be just like anything else that happened. Do you understand? Like they did everything he's saying they did in that lawsuit, they did it.
So you feel like it's valid on that point? Like, yeah, they did that.
I understand why you would do that if you was talking to a lawyer, but like in hip hop,
right?
There's nothing to sue for. There's nothing that I didn't sue for that.
Is anything off boundaries when it comes to beef?
No.
Nothing's out of bounds?
No.
What about going to their home city and putting on a full concert? Like Kendrick's going to Toronto for 2 nights.
Dem career and name na wetin day for hot seat now. A beg, make we yen about de coco of de Toriway day make everywhere scatter. Imagine say you be Jay-Z, a billionaire with wisdom, husband to Beyonce, father to 3 kids, and one of the biggest names in both music and business. Out of nowhere, your name gets linked to a serious accusation that could change.
Let's move on to Jay-Z and Diddy. Now, we knew that Diddy was facing all sorts of criminal charges and tons of civil suits. And my God, like I can't even keep track of the number of things that have been alleged against Sean Combs or P. Diddy. But here he is in this picture with Jay-Z, who is also known as Beyonce's husband. And now Jay-Z's been dragged into one civil suit by one of the Diddy accusers. And this now 30-something-year-old woman, I think she's 37 now, who claims that she was 13 years old at the time this happened to her, has filed a lawsuit through this lawyer who's suing P. Diddy in many cases. Like, this guy's going to build a summer home based on what he hopes to recover in his lawsuits.
Or 3 summer homes.
3. So he says that he's got this woman who, when she was 13 years old, she went to the VMA Awards in New York City, like by herself, looking to get in and meet celebrities. Not surprisingly, she says she couldn't get in. She says she decided to chat up the limo drivers waiting for the celebs outside, and that one of them said to her something to the effect of, "You look like Diddy's type." And that then she was brought back to Diddy's house after the VMA Awards at Rock Center in Manhattan in the year 2000. And that there she was raped. She was given something that made her feel drugged, a drink. And she was raped not only by Diddy, but also by Jay-Z. And that when Diddy then tried to come for her again that evening, she grabbed her clothes and ran out. And that her father picked her up at a gas station nearby the home. The father, and I presume she, lived 5 hours away in Rochester, New York. Now, unfortunately for this woman and her lawyer, this guy Busby, some inconsistencies have surfaced in the account. Most notably, that the father comes out and says, "That never happened. I never went and picked her up at any post Diddy party. I think I'd remember that. I live 5 hours away." And that would seem to be a near insurmountable problem for Mr. Busby in this lawsuit, Mark, but you tell me.
Well, When you say inconsistencies, that's about as charitable as you can get. And by the way, I'm going to ask Alex Spiro next time he calls him a Busby, the 1-800 lawyer. I call him the 1-800 Diddy lawyer. I mean, he's out there with the billboards, he's filing things anonymously. And then it turns out when Alex was doing his press conference yesterday, that not only was the description of the house impossible, 20 minutes outside of Manhattan, but virtually everything else about this story was impossible, not to mention, as you said, the father. But this is not the first time that one of these things as to Diddy has fallen apart. I mean, Gloria Allred brought a case that ended up falling apart. The lawyer...
Everything in your life. The lawsuit claims that you and Diddy are involved in a major crime, and this is no small talk. The matter is serious. To make things worse, a leaked phone call has surfaced, adding fuel to the fire and leaving people questioning what's really going on. The whole situation is pure drama.
I actually followed on one of the TV shows a lawyer who brought 3 cases against Diddy, and he said that 60 people had come to his office talking about Diddy, but the 57 of them were so ridiculous that he didn't take them. Well, that tells you 95% of the people making the claims don't even pass the smell test for a lawyer, yet he's going to take 3 or vice versa. I mean, this is really, at the end of the day, if you look at the Diddy case, and, you know, there's almost a service that has been done by them expanding it to Jay-Z. Everybody says there's all these celebrities involved. Well, so far, everybody says any minute the tape's going to drop, the tapes are being shopped, blah, blah, blah. The problem is that was in September. And now we're in December. Not one tape has been released that I have seen. No, not one other person who is an alleged victim has been identified. It's still a one accuser case that's being brought criminally. I think that a lot of this is totally overblown, and there isn't any indication. Everybody keeps talking about the Diddy parties. Where are the tapes of the Diddy parties where this is supposedly going on? Nobody's ever seen it. It's become like the Loch Ness Monster.
And also, but Meg, let's talk about something historical that took place this week. And it's this case that you and I don't know how many stories we did on the original Kendall's court / Kelly's court. The young woman she was young then, accused the Duke lacrosse players of raping
Crystal
her,
Mangum,
has now come out and said, yeah, I made the whole thing up, which is horrible, as what she did was horrible. She's actually just committed like a little bit of a public service to show like people do make these things up. Everyone's like, oh, make this up out of whole cloth. Who would just create such a story? It never happens. Yeah, it actually does happen. Did happen. Those 4 kids' lives were ruined. Their families ruined, financially wiped out. A DA was brought to his knees out there. It was just, a despicable situation that happened. And now, I don't even know, almost 20 years later, she admits, yeah, I made the whole thing up. And this girl with the Jay-Z thing, I mean, her own father, he goes, yeah, I think I would remember if I drove 5 hours to pick up my daughter from a nightclub. But for Jay-Z, I agree with Mark that he did perform somewhat of a public service when his name came out, and he fought. He said, look, I feel bad for my kids. I feel bad they're going to have to hear about this, but I am not going to be extorted. I'm not giving a penny. I know I didn't do that. And I'll tell you, Mark and I have represented these kinds of people. It is often a lot easier for them to fill out a 3-page document, a non-disclosure agreement, write out a check for an amount of money that's not going to change their quality of life, just make it go away. He probably could have done that here, but he didn't, and good for him.
Yeah, no, Jay-Z is denying it in the strongest terms, and he's responding to this. I'll get to
that could shake the world. Just Day Flies say one leaked jail called on exposed Jay-Z's plan as he distanced himself from Diddy. D once tight friendship and business partnership Don scatter, and now it's all about survival. Jay-Z Don make it clear say him and him family safety non-top priority now.
Well, I didn't reach out to him. My mother, she actually wrote the letter. She reached out to Jay-Z and his team. And my godmother helped. They sent him a letter basically saying we can talk privately and have a private conversation and basically have a sit down.
And have they agreed to that then?
No.
Did you get any response?
Yeah, we got a response, but it wasn't about no sit down. It was just basically asking questions, stating like who your mom was in the car with and things of that sort. Do she remember what type of car it was and like stuff like that? Who was the person?
So when you got a response like that, did you feel disheartened, or did you think they're probably just doing the job? This kind of thing, probably they get a lot of weird people contacting them.
Yeah, I felt like, I don't know, honestly, I had mixed feelings, but I felt like they were trying to block the truth. I wouldn't say block the truth, but they wasn't trying to never solve the problem. It was never trying to get, my whole thing was getting a problem solved. I didn't ever want to see nobody, throwing shots at another person for something that we could have got taken care of privately. I'm not that type of person, and people could think what they want, but I never wanted this to, harm anyone. We really could have got this done, and he knows this, the truth. The team knows this, that we sent letters. We've been fighting for years and years, and someone should know that we're not fighting no fraud. Like, they've been using things in these courtrooms to drag it out and creating narratives that don't exist. And this could have been over with. That's all I'm saying, is that when you treat people like that and you expect someone to just sit there and take it, it's just, you get what you get.
Yeah, it's got to be really frustrating. All right, so let's just go slowly over the years, what happened with the legal situation. So you're 16, you reach out, they send this response asking all these questions, trying to basically shut you guys down. What happened next after that in terms of communication?
Well, it was very lack of communication. We was basically talking, I guess, to his team. It was never directly to him, so it was always someone from his team or representing him. And after that, it was really just all court action. Like, let's just go to court, go on different states to go to court. Things is just dragging it out. They trying to dismiss cases and we making us file again about the same thing. It was just all craziness that should have really been taken care of. Our legal system is, and I'm not talking about our whole legal system, don't get me wrong, it is some great people in our legal system, but the ones that's not doing their job, like, you guys really need to check and get these people out of there, because it's so much.
Insiders Day talks say Inogo hesitate to shift the blame to Diddy if ego save him own skin. The matter don show say D stakes high, and the alliances don tear apart for this bospos way day unfold. At first glance, this kind of story fit shock person. Jay-Z and Diddy, two heavyweights in hip-hop, don day rolled together for years. Business deals, life celebrations, and big moments.
On in the legal system, like, these guys are overlooking things. They're letting lawyers lie and come, and these lawyers are saying, oh, we did lie. We didn't know he had properties, but come on, man. It's just too much going on. You guys are letting them get away with murder, basically, because if these guys don't got to come in here and abide by the law, why should we?
It's corrupt as hell, and if you've got money, you can certainly play the system. That's what I've seen. But all right, so going back over it more slowly then, you reached out, and then it got shut down, and then it went into the court system. How did it enter the court system? Who initiated that, and how old were you at that point?
I think I was still 16, going on to 17. Who initiated that was my godmother and my mom. It was started in Philadelphia, but my godmom got legal custody over me. I guess when my mom started getting sick, she opened the case back up in New Jersey.
Yeah, that was really heartbreaking when I was listening to your interview, about your mum passing, and our condolences there, definitely.
Yeah, that's my love right there. I love my mom to death.
Yeah, you've been through a lot. So it enters the court system, and that first thing that was filed then, what happened after that?
Fighting in court. You know, I'm not a lawyer. I wish I could really tell you guys all the detail, but just me, just being, you know, someone who's just listening to the fight that's going on. It just was a lot of BS, a lot of craziness, and them bringing up different scenarios and things like that to try to throw the judge off of what was really the paternity and all the fraud and all that came. This case should have been over with. They should have never let it get this far, all the fraud that's in this case. And I just want the world to know it should have never been sealed. This should be open for the public. You know, it's just a lot of things that's going on that we all know is wrong.
So through the court system then, were you guys asking for like a paternity test?
Yes, we started off asking for a paternity test, and it just went left from there. It just went left from there.
And how many years were you fighting in court for?
It's 10 plus now, as I would say, it's 13, 14 years now.
Is it still ongoing?
On bond them. But when survival mode kick in, even D's strongest friendship fit break apart. The leaked call reportedly showed Jay-Z no day play at all as he fights to protect his name by any means necessary. It's a serious reminder of how high the stakes don't rise in this unfolding drama. When Make D
allegations that Jay-Z, Sean Carter sexually assaulted Jane Doe, who was 13 at the time, at an after-party 2000 Video Music Awards. Doe alleges she felt woozy after consuming a drink, then wandered into a bedroom where Carter raped her first, followed by Combs. Carter called the allegations so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one, and said whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. The lawsuit claims Carter responded to mediation requests with a frivolous lawsuit and accusations of harassment against Doe's legal team. It states Jay-Z responded to said letter by orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against plaintiffs' lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff. In his statement to CNN, Carter labeled the mediation effort a blackmail effort and remarked that those lawyers seem to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. Is this their response, Rob?
Yes.
And is this from him? Because he actually responded.
I think because it says my lawyer received a blackmail attempt.
Yeah,
so
this is what it's saying. Jay-Z, the internet is saying that this is Jay-Z's response.
Can you zoom in a little bit, Roger? My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had been calculated as the nature of these allegations and public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect and made me want to expose you for the fraud you in very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I've read that already. These alleged victims would deserve real justice if it were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern. I have no idea how you come to such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby. I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims. By the way, very well written. You think he wrote this here?
Yeah.
And explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes to true victims who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honors. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, physics, will believe this idiotic claim you have levied against me that, if not for the serious surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. Tom.
So I break this down, and first, it's very subtle. It's very subtle, Vinny, but you can detect Jay-Z indicating, again, you really got to read between the
leaked calls stand out. According to reports, Na Diwe e take shed light on Jay-Z's legal moves. Dems say him lawyers day focus on breaking down the accuser, Jane Doe's claims, looking for any lie or flaw in her testimony. Dem even filed papers to suggest Say.
Right? It's hard to see.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's not going to negotiate. But there's a line in here. I love to dissect these things. And first of all, I think this was written by a spokesperson, taking nothing against Jay-Z and his capabilities. But this really appears to be written by a legal publicist. This is the way they write. This is their style. So one of the things he says is, I implore you to file criminal, not civil. And when I saw that this morning, I didn't have time before the show, but I wanted to look up the statute of limitations, Pat, and to see whether this is chargeable. I don't know. I actually do not know at this hour. But when I see something like that, I go, oh, is this potentially outside the chargeable window? The statute of limitations applies. Because remember what happened two summers ago when they moved the date in New York State, New York City? All those women came out with those Me Too suits because they had a deadline date, remember? Otherwise, the statute of limitations was going to come. That's what I see this. So this is a standard response from a legal publicist, and that can be the words and tone and opinion of Jay-Z, but I think it was written by a legal publicist into the form that they use. Ambulance chaser, cheap suit, all of those are kind of stock words they use. My question is, has the statute of limitations moved on this? Question one. And question two, with all due respect to Jay-Z, there's an awful lot of pictures of you running around in your undies at parties with Diddy. And so you were at some of these parties. It's not like there's no photographs that America's going in, hey, is that a young Jay-Z running around in his underwear with Diddy at a party? When you see that, it's hard to walk away from that visual.
And so, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this or not. Tony Busby isn't an ambulance chasing. He is probably one of the most successful lawyers in the United States. So I don't believe none of that BS. So I did some digging. So apparently he got sued by an unnamed person. He won't name the person, and this person had hired private investigators to go through Busby's life, talks to ex-employees, ex-clients, because they wanted to get as much dirt on him as possible. And they basically approached him and said, hey, if you don't back down with suing this random person, I think we all know who it is, we're going to expose everything. So you know what he does? He comes out with the Jay-Z alleging raping a 13-year-old girl. And now, again, all allegations, but from what the questioning is with this girl, this 13-year-old girl knows everything about this house, from the driveway to the paint inside the building. She knows everything. And it's like...
She did?
She did. She's saying this in the lawsuit. That's what they're saying, allegedly. But at what point, guys, and I get it, all we always hear is rumors. We never have proof. Every time it comes to these children who are the most neglected people in this freaking country, we know it because of the border and the sex trafficking and all that. When are we going to start listening to some of these people that the media and the left consider crazy? Kanye West tried to warn us about Jay-Z. Cat Williams warned us about Jay-Z and Beyonce. MIA told us about satanic rituals. And I'm telling you from experience, and Adam knows this guy too, they do that type of stuff in Hollywood. I know people that have said firsthand
she might have tampered with or deleted key evidence. The legal strategy sharp and aggressive, as Dem Day tried tear apart the credibility of the accusation. It shows say D matter na serious bospos for court, with Jay-Z fighting hard to clear his name. Unlike Jay-Z, who donned sharply
If it's just peanut butter, it's just peanut butter. If it's just jelly, it's jelly. When you put it together, it becomes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and the taste is undeniable.
You saying Diddy and Jay-Z is peanut butter jelly?
Peanut butter and jelly. Let's deal with the sandwich.
We asked you this last time, and Piers Morgan said it. They're not here to defend themselves. Do you think the Carters will speak about any of this at all? Do you just feel that they'll make any statement about what's going on?
Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say something?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there. How many people does he have to be aware of before people see him for who he is?
It seems like these artists are trying to run away from their past. Diddy changed his name multiple times to say, that's not me, I'm trying to move beyond Diddy, I'm Love now. It seems like Jay-Z would try to run away from his past.
Calling that nigga Love and anything that he did love. Brother Love. What kind of love? Baby oil love? Baby love? Baby love? Explicit love? Hey! They never thought that hip hop would take it this far.
Oh man, it's different now.
These lyrics are all hitting different right now. All the people talking about fathers, all kinds of stuff.
So let's just start with Piers Morgan, because there's a headline that went out that was very powerful that people are running with, where it just says, Jay-Z is the real monster. Now, before you speak on it, to even get to Piers Morgan, can you explain how that took place and why even take that interview to go forward?
Well, excuse me. I can't say that I sought it out, because I didn't. Truth is we didn't see it coming. But I have to credit Odell.
Got Odeezy.
My love. I have to credit him, because since we've combined and joined forces and become a hell of an investigative journalism team. See, I'm the content, I'm the passion, I'm the voice. I'm also the brain, but I do too much by myself. That's the brain. That's the administrator.
Since himself, Diddy's own Matter Day look more shaky. Dems say Diddy Day hope say if Jay-Z win him legal battle, he go still help both of dem. But he be like say Diddy's confidence day misroad. D leaked call shows say Jay-Z no even get planned to follow Diddy style at all. Instead, he day ready to make strong moves to save himself.
It's the bloodhound. And he, there were so many people that hacked into so many of my accounts. People didn't even know how to get in touch with me anymore. And Odell created that lane. And they reached out to him. Piers Morgan's producers called him directly. And we talked about it briefly, and I said, we have to do it. We have to. Because the one thing I know about Piers Morgan is he is a smart prey. And not only is he smart prey, he is a great conductor of information. He also vets things viciously. And I want to thank you for that. Because if my word is good enough to make it through Piers Morgan's firewall of please don't sue me, then I guess he just vetted me for every ounce of real life content on this blue couch. We thank you for that.
Do you feel that Piers Morgan allowed you to get, because you only have so many minutes, I know you don't know exactly how the show's going to be structured.
Yeah.
Did you get what you want to say out? And was there more for you to say? Of course there's more to say.
I'll never have enough to say. Right. There will never be enough screen time for me to say. But what I will say is, I'm grateful for the questions he asked. I'm grateful for the time he gave me to answer. And I pray that I was able to hit everything that needed to be hit for the public.
How did you feel about Vlad going after you?
Even if he means say Diddy go carry D wallow alone. The whole situation don't turn into survival of D's smartest. Why Jay-Z go take this kind hard stance? D answer day for deep power dynamics way day play. As a billionaire way Don spread him hand for fashion, sports, tech, and music. Jay-Z named Don
very large-scale home in a lovely, lovely white Jewish neighborhood for cheap.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, I'm just like, you could have said, I know you guys don't want to walk away from your home, but at least let me pay you full value because I got the money. And I want to see y'all be okay. She knew they were going to have to forfeit on that mortgage, and she squeezed. She was kinder to that damn dog.
Oh, man. Putter? What's his name?
Flutter, yeah.
Yeah, Putter, God.
You gave the dog an idiot name, and you wonder why he shat in your shoe. The fuck is Flutter? What does that mean?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, it's the sound of his feet make. That's your fault, bitch. You named him nothing. How you gonna... like, Flutter, I used to hate that shit. And he hated kids. And he barked at people's feet. Like, he was fucked up.
Oh, man.
I can see why Lizelle says she shouldn't make no babies.
Oh, man.
I mean, that was her husband.
So,
he should have known her best.
Yeah, let me
She
say
wrote a whole
this.
song about it. It was a hit record. Want to hear it?
They did not for Oh, shit.
Turn on a black radio station on Sunday where they sell bullshit all the time.
Jack, I want to ask.
Nothing progressive.
I have to say, most people that watch our interviews or your interviews as of late, the main question that comes up is, how does she know? Was she there? So yeah. I want to do it like this. I'm gonna name some names.
Sure.
And I want to know, were you around them?
Sure.
I would like to start for what everybody knows is Jay-Z.
What about him?
Were you around him? In what capacity were you around him? Was it strictly? Was it only
NDAs
unplugged?
in my life.
Okay.
Both of them were with Mr. Carter. Ask me what you want to know and I'll answer what I can.
The leak call also calls into question Diddy's own approach. Is he ready to stand up for himself, or is he depending on Jay-Z to take part of the fallout? If the latter, he may be in for an unpleasant awakening. The call implies that Jay-Z has already decided to put his own interests ahead of Diddy's, no matter what the cost.
The base level, business, personal.
Both.
Both.
And spiritual.
And spiritual. Okay.
We believe in the same power. We don't believe in appropriating it the same way.
Can I ask you this? For you, did you find joy in the business or pleasure? And when you answer that, I'm gonna flip it on him. Do you feel he found joy in the business or pleasure part of that? Or spiritual?
He is the most shameful thing I've ever done. There is nothing that I experienced with that person that has not inspired shame except for Unplugged. That was the purest moment. For me, it was all done in love for music, love for all that was there, love for the culture. I hate the fact that we did it all for a culture vulture. For someone who never truly had the capacity to appreciate that moment in time, to steal it from the masses, to hide it, to cloak it. I put it up on Philadelphia last year when we launched. You know how many people came to the network to see that show that they never got to see? You know what's great about this year? I still got the footage.
There you go. There you go.
And in 1 week, Jay-Z Unplugged, the actual whole concert, from beginning to end, will be viewed and able to be viewed on realjack.com. Come and see the history. Come and see the power of that moment, the amazing things that we did with our bodies and our minds and our spirits. There was not one person in that room that was not elevated that night. And everyone in that room would be a liar if they said that I wasn't responsible for 70.
Turned to symbol of excellence and power. This kind big controversy fit scatter everything way Don carefully build over the years. For Jay-Z, the most important thing not to control D's story and protect him family future. Loyalty no fit stand strong where
For sure. I don't know. But I still would just like to have that why. Right. So it's out. It's almost like the cat is out the bag.
I always wonder what makes you the boss. Is it the plug? Is it the loyalty? Or is it the fact that you can strong arm niggas or whoop niggas?
What make you a boss is the way you do business. Cause I had the same type of dudes that have the same work, but there's always those dudes that be like, man, I'm like, yo, go get it from, my man guy. Nah, I just want to do business with you. It could be the same price, it could be the same thing. And I think that's what make you a boss on how you carry yourself, how you conduct your business and shit and all this, and make people comfortable. You know what I mean? That, and that's what the bigger hurt is down the line when shit hit the fan. Cause I always say, yo, bro, during my trial, man, with 6 people testifying against me. Yeah. Right? I ain't do nothing to none of them but make all 6 of them rich.
Right. Well,
you know what I'm saying? So this is, they here testifying against me. And that's the hurtingest feeling.
Who was the hardest to forgive?
Who was the hardest to forgive?
Yeah, in your entire life. Who was the hardest person to forgive?
Shit, Jay.
Man, we gotta get it out.
That wore me, yo, bro, that wore me out, bro. That wore me out. That wore me out to a crazy dark spot, dark place. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because he started getting sassy with it. You know what I'm saying?
But let's not get too far. Let's take it back and because people, we do this sometimes when we get into the story.
Right,
people don't know what's going on. So tell people, number one, how did you meet Jay-Z and your connection to Jay-Z? Let's start there first.
My connection with Jay, right? And and I want everybody to know this is my disclaimer, right? Because during this, I may get more passionate, and sometimes my passionate about my story seems to come off wrong to people like I'm bitter and I'm angry. But then I go in and let you know, as you hear the story and you read my story, you scratching your head like, shit, I'd be more just bitter still at this point. But yeah, we come from here, bro. Me and Jay, we come from here, 7, 8 years old, 4th grade, 5th grade.
And where was the location for those that don't know? Marcy Projects, right?
Yeah, we come from Marcy and shit, I'm going to school one day and I see him and I noticed that his way of path to school is the same path as mine and we leaving out the same building.
Are you older than Jay-Z at the time? Y'all the same age?
I'm 6 months older.
Got you. So same age pretty much, yeah.
So just right then and there, man, I seen how I used to hang with this other young guy. Shit, he was like my role model. Same age, but he was much more tougher than me, much more street than me, right? He was much more street than me and had much more knowledgeable and just taught me how to conduct myself. And this is going to public school because we had to walk through gang territory, Puerto Rican gang territory, and they used to harass us all the time if we ain't deep. You know what I mean? We ain't got a bunch of us walking to school together. But every time you look around the corner, they got 5 or 6 dudes on the fence going in their pocket, taking their little munch money. And
Fit put him empire for risk. But D's story no one there. D-way people, especially hip-hop fans, they react don divide ground well. Some days see Jay-Z's moves as betrayal of D loyalty way D culture day stand for, while others day hail MS.
Hey, Jay one of them on the fence. And then my man used to always be like, yo, that ain't gonna be us. You understand? That's never gonna be us. You know what I mean? See how it is? Until one day they really stopped us. My man showed me how to, my man just flipped out on them. Like he flipped out to show them that he wasn't scared and the shit went in reverse. Like they really didn't press us. They end up saying, yo, B, you okay? and you could get through here, nobody gonna bother you. And he like, yeah, this is my cousin too, and he getting the same flavor, this and that, right? So with him telling them that, I see, you know what I'm saying? I end up telling Jay that, because Jay from my building. I'm like, yo, bro, walk to school with me, man, so they won't be fucking with you. And that's how from there, we just took off. 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade,
like real childhood friendship.
Yo, when I sit here and tell you,
that's like these niggas. Like I met them like that, like young like that.
Yeah. Yo, see, so that's the betrayal of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you young like that and y'all come up like that, then as I'm coming up, it's beginning. That's not my man. That's my little brother. You get what I'm saying? That's my little brother at this point now when we coming up in the hood. Because now we more protective of our set, our community, our little three buildings. You know what I'm saying? They not gonna come over here and mess with us. So now I'm protective of them and stuff. You know what I'm saying? By the time we getting into junior high school and all of this stuff. But we had separated. Once we got to like junior high school, I was more into hustling, making my own money. I was more into, this shit don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Atari coming out now. Everybody, this is when the video games are coming out now. I'm the only little nigga that's 15, 16 that's gonna go right in my room and get my own $500 and buy my own Atari.
Atari cost $500?
When the Atari first came out, that shit was $599. And I used to see kids beg their parents like, where you gonna get? And I went and bought my own shit. My mom's like, yo, what you went and bought, you spent $600. And 2 days later, my Atari next door in Jay house. She like, where your Atari at? I said, Jay got it.
Smart and necessary way to handle life-threatening Walla. Social media don't scatter with conspiracy theories, memes, and hot arguments. The big question be, Jay-Z Day played chess with him strategic sense, or he don't cross the line of ethics. The debate day show deep.
And honestly, he needs to be in prison.
Real life. It ain't real life.
It ain't real life. Real life street star. Know what time it is.
Well, I was originally born in Florida. I was adopted, and my parents got me when I was 11 years old. And then I moved to Louisville, Kentucky, home of Muhammad Ali, home of Lamar Jackson, Jack Harlow, Louisville. And then as my career started while I was in college, I moved out to Los Angeles. And then I was just like everywhere, Atlanta, New York, and everything. But I was raised in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, definitely. Now, let me ask you this first and foremost. When you hear the words, the music business, what is the first thought that comes to your mind?
Corrupt. Corrupt.
Wow. To say corrupt, you must be pulling from something. What's the first image that pops in your brain when you say the words corrupt?
Jay-Z.
Ooh, that is the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Hay, what I want to do is, of course, for you to even be able to bring up the name Jay-Z, that means, of course, you must have affiliations in the world of what Jay-Z is. Can you at least let our audience know as far as possibly, and again, let's go down the rabbit hole here. What is your affiliations in regards to the world in the music business to Jay-Z, to Sean Carter?
So I go way back with him from the days of, I met Jay-Z through a mill, and the former Rockefeller artist who is on a lot of his earlier hits. So that's how I got in contact with Jay-Z. And, through a mill, and this is like a few years after she had left Rockefeller, or, left the Rockefeller management, because she was signed to Columbia, I think, But that's how I got introduced to him, right? And then when I started to work and we would talk on his T-Mobile two-way pager. I would hit him, and he'd hit me back about $1 million and the projects that I was doing at the time, and I would pitch him some stuff, yada 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 yada. But we had an open relationship. So when Rihanna came out with Pon de Replay, and I was pitching Pon de Replay to journalists, the first journalist that hit us back was this woman from MTV. Her name was Jennifer Vineyard, and she worked for MTV News. She told me, she was like, if you can get
wallow a day between survival, loyalty, and the tough truth of fame. One of the most interesting things way the leaked call exposed naughty power dynamics for inside the hip-hop industry. Relationships way look strong like rock fit scatter when big pressure land. D-Way, Jay-Z, and Diddy.
Rihanna was completely unknown. She was like, if you can get a quote from Jay-Z, then we'll run the story. So I was like, I even told her, I was like, yeah, no problem. I talked to this guy about everything. He had been the head of Def Jam. He had been the head of Def Jam for not too long, right? So I figured he would easily give us a quote. And, he completely snowballed. He snowballed me. He wouldn't give us a quote about Rihanna. He wouldn't do anything, for her in the beginning. So then I'd go back to Jennifer Vineyard and be like, I can't get a quote from Jay. Obviously, I didn't say that. I was like, he's just real busy coming into his, position at Def Jam, yada, yada, yada. And, she still ran the story for us anyways, and that's kind of how it all began with her, So when Jay-Z comes to mind, it's just like, like all the games throughout the years, there's just, we'll talk about it as the show goes on, but there's just been like a lot of, bullshit. And being around so many people in the industry who've experienced the same thing, it's just, and honestly, he needs to be in prison, but hopefully, with the stuff that, people like Jaguar, right, is speaking out about, stuff that I'm speaking out about, hopefully that can get some eyes on some kind of, prosecutor, someone who will look into them and, see if justice can be done.
Yeah, we've seen the same thing happen with R. Kelly as far as just...
Exactly.
You get the right person to look in the right direction. Something may stick. So you, as is listed, if someone wants to Google your name, Jonathan Hay, they'll see, you're as an American publicist and record producer. You start off as a publicist or a producer, or?
A publicist.
Okay. For those that don't know what a publicist is, because a lot of cats don't know it, can you explain what a publicist's job is?
So the publicist's job has changed now a lot, and in 2024 with social media being so, prevalent, and artists are more in control, the newer artists and stuff. But publicists used to be the spokesperson, for the artists. They would issue the statements. They would, manage the press, crisis management situations, were key, and like everybody. To contact the artist, they would contact the publicist, and that was like our job. But my job, I wasn't like the guy that like did like the red carpet stuff. I wouldn't, because there's like those publicists too who do the red carpet, who coordinate with the red carpet coordinator, and they do all that kind of stuff. I was more of the strategy behind it. Like that's what I like, is to come up with the strategic, angles and the marketing and publicity behind it. So that was like more my job. That's what I was hired to do. To be that person. So that's what I would consider myself as more of a strategist. Now, some PR people, they like to, be all out there, like I said, and do the red carpet stuff. That's not really my thing. I'm more of a, stay in my own lane and just come up with strategy.
Bond Don Change, nah, serious example of how alliances fit break anyhow. Dem way before be partners with these same big dreams, Don turn to rivals for dis high-stakes game, where trust Don change from asset to liability. Dis kind shift days show how power and loyalty for the industry no day steady, nah survival and success day drive everything. D-leaked calls still bring question mark on top Diddy's way of handling D matter. E-Day ready to fight him own battle, or E-Day hope say Jay-Z go join Carrie D-Walla. If nah D second one, Diddy fit Day set himself up for big shock. D calls show say Jay-Z don't already decide to put him own interest first, no matter what an ego mean for Diddy. This kind revelation show D clear gap for D2 of dem strategies, as Jay-Z Day look ready to cut off ties just to make sure say he survive. And what of Jane Doe, D accuser? Her claims don't spark serious controversy, but dem also bring one bigger issue to light: the need for accountability in D entertainment industry. For long, privilege and power don't cover celebrities from any kind of check, letting dem dodge consequences for D things dem do. This case fit be D turning point. Way go make even D most untouchable figures face D consequences of their actions. Whether D accusations stand or not, D focus on accountability could be D lasting impact of this whole scandal. As D story day unfold, D stakes sure go rise higher. Go Jay-Z's well-planned strategy work, or go E backfire. D legal battle still far from finish, and D leaked call not just one small piece of D bigger puzzle. How does lawsuit and fit shake hip-hop culture and change how power dynamics be seen for D industry? Meanwhile, Diddy get D big task of building a defense way go save him name. D months ahead go show if these icons fit survive D storm, or if this whole matter go change dem forever. D leaked call dawn truly shift D game, reminding us say even D's strongest relationships fit crack when crisis hit. While Jay-Z's strategic approach fit be controversial, he show say he sabi how power work for a world where loyalty sometimes not just a mask. For such a high-stakes environment, ruthless pragmatism become D key for survival. His actions reflect D harsh truth say, when everything day on D line, personal and professional survival go sometimes matter past even D deepest ties. When D stakes high, people go any length to protect themselves. For Jay-Z, this means cutting off an old ally and focusing only on his own survival. For Diddy, it means facing D hard truth of being alone at his weakest point. As D's story still day grab public attention, E-Day offered deeper reflection on human nature, how loyalty, ambition, and survival instincts fit change relationships, and how, when pushed to delimit, people go put their own well-being above everything else. This story nah warning about how fragile relationships fit be in a society where ambition and self-interest rule, no just a simple case of two people caught in legal walla. As fans, all we fit do not watch and guess what in D next chapter go bring. But one tin sure, the drama no finish yet. D ripple effects of this fight go continue to unfold, leaving us to wonder how he go finally change D lives and legacies of those way day involved.